Alright, good evening, everyone. I'll make sure I get I have my sound down for simulator. Hold on. There we go. The meter was moving in OBS, but it wasn't on my end. Maybe you guys could hear it and I couldn't hear it. Alright, so welcome to the stream. Good evening, good evening. I'm Martin Wenzel. This is Microsoft Flight Simulator. We are attempting for the third time, to be the fifth attempt at doing the flight, but third stream of the attempt, to do Microsoft Flight Simulator World Tour Leg 123, Budapest, Hungary to Frankfurt, Germany. Flight is Lufthansa 1343, flown using an Airbus A320. We're going to be using FlyByWire's A32NX mod. Just updated it, so hopefully it doesn't break anything. Development version. And using the Lufthansa livery created by Orient ES. It's a really cool livery. I just did a 12-hour stream just flying it. Flew it up to Greenland from Hungary down to the North Carolina coast before running out of fuel. Just a stress test to see if Flight Simulator would crash. Hasn't crashed. I've done a 6-hour recording in OBS. Flying around with the FlyByWire A32NX in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Then I restarted yesterday morning at 6 a.m. flying to Lufthansa right from here. Just flew it up to Greenland, flew it down to North Carolina. 12 hours, no problems. Degradation of the frame rate as we went along, but that's just how it goes. And no problems, no crashing. So fingers crossed. But I'm a pessimist, and I think as soon as we get going here, we're going to crash putting the FMS together, or crash taxiing or something, and that's going to just blow my mind because I literally just flew 18 hours of uninterrupted flights having no problems with the simulator crashing a desktop. But of course, when we're doing this live and for real, I'm going to go do that. So you guys try to have the positive vibes. If we're landing in Frankfurt and we finish the stream in Frankfurt, I will be very happy. Well, I'd rather finish in Pristina, Kosovo. That means we got both flights in tonight. Alright, so thanks Tyler, thanks Creepy Kirk. Yeah, that was fun. Yeah, after the stream died last night, jumped in and flew a little bit. Creepy Kirk was doing a group flight with a couple of other guys that watch over here and watch over there. He's doing really good, Creepy Kirk. And they did a Colorado Rockies. They were flying in the Rockies. That was really fun. Yeah, when I put that flight plan in, it was like 4 or 5 hours. So I'm like, ooh, that's gonna be But I think if you're doing it in a group, then you got great scenery, great places to go and fly like that. Definitely fun to do. Did you start experiencing any frame rate issues after going that long in Flight Simulator? I wonder if it doesn't really affect the smaller planes. I mean, I get it, like the A32NX, first of all, the A32NX is probably not the most efficient, well-crafted thing, because it is freeware. So there might be some leaks and stuff, memory leaks and that, but it is a more complicated plane. Yeah, it's a more complicated plane than the Kit Fox, probably. Oh, no. I mean, even my frame rates, when I'm flying a smaller plane like that with you guys, it was like my frame rates are up in the 50s. And then when you do these flights, in the A32NX, once you get going, it'll be about in the 30s. Alright, so let's get in here, let's get the fuel coming on board. 5863, so the fuel, every time I do this flight, I require less and less fuel. The weather must be getting better or something, or I don't know. Actually, you might end up having less passengers this time than the last few flights. Alright, so we're going to jump through here. We're going to check our parking brake. Flaps are retracted. Ground spoilers are retracted. Speed brake. Ignition is normal. Engine master switches are in the off position. Thrust levers idle. The integrated lighting. Go here. Get these displays brightened up because by the time we get going, the sun will be in full force. Landing gear is down. Anti-skid nose wheel steering on. right here and turn up the brightness and integrated lighting on our glare shield panel. Nothing we have to check right there. Go to our overhead panel, make sure the wipers are off. Can hit. Also to make sure my copilot is off. Going to battery 1 and 2, external power, strobe auto, oxygen supply, ground control, Deers 1, 3, 2, Gray Pew fire test. Yeah, I suppose, I mean, everything's a little fun if you have someone else to talk to. Some days I don't want, some days I'm very, just want to do stuff on my own. I tend to be more like that all the time, but usually it's fun. Sometimes it just feels awkward, other times it's... I think once you get to know people and your buddies and everything, then it's fun to do things. I don't know, someday I'll won't be as awkward. Maybe. Alright, so the cargo and I'm using a pushback helper today. Pop open. Like this is pushback helper. This is what I used before. Got that toolbar pushback thing. And the only problem with it is it doesn't the catering and baggage tends to leave on its own, which I guess is realistic, actually. Once it's done, they're done. They don't need to sit there, wait for you to ask them to leave. So that's fine. Power's still hooked up. Jetway has gone away again. That jetway hooked out. It might just been a graphic thing. Oops. I didn't want to close that. Go. Jetway, power. Do those stay there. A little finicky, but it's very lightweight. I've never had any problems with it. Unfortunately, we're going to have to use it to we're going to need to use the buttons, actually. So, like with the pushback, toolback pushback, you could use the rudder pedals to steer. This one you actually have to use buttons there, but it still works. Alright, so let's get in here and get the passengers coming on. Start boarding passengers. Send request 127. So we had 170 last night. Now it's on to 127 again. Oh, kind of bounced around. Also, open up pack X. We'll try this for the 3rd, or 4th, or 5th, or whatever time I'm trying to do this flight. Got the boarding music. We have the safety brief. Unfortunately, I can't find a good video of the safety brief. Gonna have the music. Where are we at? Right, we want to put on our emergency lighting. No smoking auto, emergency lights armed, and we can request our ATC. What mod is that? Start a flight menu. Oh, what I just had up? That is Pack X. So it's a TFDI. There is a link. You're on YouTube, so there's a link in the description for it, I believe. Should be a link. But it's Pack X. It's a pretty good lightweight passenger simulation system. It's not my favorite. My favorite is self-loading cargo, but self-loading cargo is it's one guy working on that. Still trying to get it to work nicely. So yeah, check it out, PackX. If you have like the Orbix Central thing where you can download stuff from Orbix, yeah, it's actually included on there. You can buy it there. It is payware though, so. And I bought them back when I was doing X-Plane. X-Plane had nothing. None of the planes had anything like this A32NX has with passenger loading now. Alright. Stay around. Hey, Oriana. Yep, we're doing it for real now. Real stream here.
Budapest clearance delivery Lufthansa 1343 IFR to Frankfurt, ready to copy.
Sound like I heard everything. Oriana, I have no idea. I have no idea. Started the stream and they weren't showing up. I have the overlay link in there properly, and yeah, they just don't want to show up. So there's always something. And if that's the only problem that we have with the stream, that'll be good. I will trade having the comments show up versus the stream or the simulator crashing. So we'll see. Fingers crossed on that. What runway do they have to go? 13 left. Alright, so I'm just going to jump into the flight plan right away. Do our departure, if I don't forget. 13 left. We're going to dial 2 Bravo for our SID. Oh, I definitely hope so. I mean, I just streamed 12 hours just to test and see if the sim won't crash, and it didn't crash. Of course, once I got the camera actually on and actually streaming for real, I'll probably be like, oh, yep, gotta crash. That's not what I want. I want my flight plan. Okay, so for the millionth time, Echo Delta Delta Lima is our alternate, flight number 1343, cost index 5, and our cruise is 380. Nothing has changed. Flight plan, listen again, is No asleep. How do you know his nickname is No? Did we say that on the stream? I can't remember. I think he's talking to Grandma right now. In China. I think he's Grandma. Yeah, and I basically, last night after the stream, I think I went to bed around like 1 in the morning. I got so tired. Because my body has decided it doesn't want to be up at night, even though my sleep cycle has been reversed for the last few weeks. Suddenly decided it doesn't want to do that anymore, which makes work very hard. But it was kind of nice yesterday. I slept until about 6 in the morning or whatever, whenever I started that other stream, and then stayed up until about 1 in the afternoon and took a nap here, and then I got up, and now I'm kind of feeling tired again because it's evening. And sleep doesn't actually do anything for me. Or I'm just having a mental block or something. So we took him out. We took him out in the stroller for the first time. Walked down probably, I don't know how far it is. Probably a mile down to the local grocery. Small grocery store. Bought some hot ham and rolls. Milwaukee tradition. Sunday afternoon tradition. Alright, we got the flight plan inserted. I'm going to go to the radio nav page. Nav graphs. Go to chart right here, Frankfurt. I want to put in the VOR. I think I'm going to put in. I need Fred and Frankfurt for a go around. Frankfurt is 114.2. I'm going to leave the course open because, depending on what we need, well, I'll put 66 in right now, but we might need a different radial on the go-around. I need 86 to go around. And then Fred is 115.9. Fred, we need... no course on Fred. Well, I guess you're just kind of using Fred as a distance thing here. Yeah. I want to take 8 miles out, and then we want to be 10.8 away on the go-around. If we do a go-around, just extra stuff. ILS will automatically fill on its own. Back to the menu here to watch passengers come on. Okay. Yeah, I couldn't remember if we mentioned his Chinese nickname. Away Navigraph. I do not have Sim Toolkit Pro on because I did not test that stream I did, 12-hour stream. I didn't have Sim Toolkit Pro running, so I didn't want to introduce something else that could possibly cause a crash. So, I'm going to have to go over here to check my, what do you call it? MEDAR data. So our pressure is 1039. So right here. 1039, we have winds 3 knots at 300 degrees. It's -6 degrees Celsius, dew point -12. You can also show it like this. Here's your QNH, there's your temperatures, there's your wind. That's the time we get it. Alright, well thanks everyone for showing up. Hopefully, for stopping by. Hopefully we can get off the ground here today and actually complete this flight. I would love to land in Frankfurt. And as I mentioned a number of times already, I streamed for 12 hours before this, just letting the plane fly, letting the sim run, and I had all kinds of stuff on. Had all my different background apps on, and no problems. No crashes, no crash desktop. Well, the only thing that wasn't on was, well, the camera was on. I just had the camera cover and I didn't have it like loaded up on the stream. But I don't know why that would be something that would cause Flight Simulator to crash. Flight Simulator. Sun is rising here in Budapest. What is this airline? Yeah, wow. Oh, Eurowings, okay. Like a special livery for Prague. We'll be flying Eurowings next flight. If we can finish this flight ever. Got a number of Wizz Airs over there. Wizz is based out of Budapest. So got a number of those, number of Ryanairs. I think we got a Smart Wings over there too. Lufthansa, old livery. The British Airways. All courtesy of Alpha India Group traffic. He kind of looks like a mix of both of us, Ariana.
Lot 2201 cleared to London City Airport is filed. Takeoff runway 13
Yeah, we're gonna see who he looks like more once he gets a little older.
Clear.
Hey Enzo.
Departure on 120.375 squawk 3747. Lot 2201 readback is correct.
Just waiting for the passengers to get on board.
Contact ground on 122.44 when ready to taxi. Good day.
Actually, what we can do.
Cabin crew, I'd like to take this time to welcome you aboard our flight. We're just wrapping up some paperwork up front here and waiting to receive final numbers from the ground crew, then we'll be on our way. Flight attendants will be coming through the
Doesn't
cabin
the
shortly
voice
with a very
sound like
important
mine?
safety briefing. We do ask that you give them your full, undivided attention as they review the safety operations of this Airbus aircraft. We do appreciate your business.
So these are actually announcements
If there's anything we do to
from
make your flight any more enjoyable, please don't
the
hesitate to
plane
ask.
itself from
Welcome
the
aboard.
A32NX. what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off... Oh, that's why I was hearing other music. I was hearing the boarding music. I'm going to turn off the announcements because we're going to get announcements through Pack X. But I'm going to keep the passenger ambience on. You can kind of hear it. Maybe the music's too loud. I think he looks a little bit more like me right now. Lishua. No. Especially because he's got the blue eyes. Chubby face. Alright, I'm gonna start put on the predicted wind shear, close the cockpit door. Got all the fuel on board, seatbelt signs on. Looks like actually the passengers on board already. I'm gonna do the APU before we do the other stuff, so it gets going. Go to init page 2 and get our 0 fuel weight center of gravity, which is 24.4. Fuel planning, we have 5.8. Performance, flaps, we're gonna go up 1.6. Now we can get our V1, rotate, and V2. Transition altitude is 10,000. I'm not going to pull out the calculator and figure out flex takeoff temperature. I'm just going to do it here. A little bit quicker. Don't really need to change anything for our climb, cruise, any of this. And we're ready. So we're going to go up to the APU. APU starter. Step outside, check out the tail. The APU exhaust coming out. Where do I get the wind creepy? I usually never do anything on that page just because I don't know where to get the page. Right here. No, page 2. Do I do it on this page? Yeah, wind right there. Headwind, yeah. Sim brief under. Okay. Sim brief under the. What is it called? So I'm looking for average. I'm looking for like the average WC. Is that what it's going to be? Or do I put in P017? Would that be it? Here, I'll pull it up for you. Let me know what I should be putting in. Who told you? Who? Okay, which one's? Who's the A320 guy? Is that Unique New York? Which one of them? Which one of those guys? Yeah, I'm sure he must have told you, right? Which one am I doing? Oh, this one. Just put a 017, okay. I was figuring it doesn't have a... Why would I put in a P? I had a P there. Oh, okay, cool. Kind of just adjusted some things a little bit. Alright. Well, I will remember to do that from now on. Just to make it that much... Well, extra thing. Hey, Unique New York! Speaking of it. Oh, P equals tailwind. Oh! Did that change that to tailwind? Automatic. Oh, I guess it changes automatically because depending on it knows what direction it should know our heading based on our flight plan, right?
Budapest clearance delivery. KLM 19er 72 IFR to skip hall ready to copy. KLM 19er 72 is cleared to skip hall airport as filed.
All right.
Takeoff runway
Let's tell the jetway to go away.
12,000 feet.
Passengers are on board. Oh yeah, you said I could do it in here. So I can also do all this right here. I think I just closed.
KLM 19er 72 cleared to Schiphol Airport as filed. Takeoff runway 13 left climb and maintain 12,000 feet. Departure on 120.375.
I think the reason I like pushback helper is just because I can be looking at other stuff and also hit it. Either way,
Contact ground on 122.
different options, lots of different options
Good day.
doing things. Alright, let's get the tug. P as in plus, tailwind, M as in minus. Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. If you have a tailwind, it's giving you giving you more speed, right? No, I have not heard of the current issue with China. I don't think I have. I haven't been following China as closely lately, and neither has my wife. It's kind of funny when we were over in China, like the last, few months before we left. That's kind of one of the things that kind of pushed her to want to leave. Was she got really into YouTube and really watching a lot of the stuff about China. It's like, it's not safe here. We gotta leave. And now she's kind of like over it. KLM is backing up, just like yesterday. KLM always ends up backing up about the same time as us. Their flight takes off about right now, too. I think he's connected. Disconnect the parking brake. And turn on the beacon light. Turn on the AQ bleed. Beacon light, alright. And let's do reverse. Lately I forget to turn that ignition.
Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the screen for an important safety demonstration. Thank you for flying with us.
Herzlich willkommen.
Bienvenidos.
Ni hao. Namaskar. Benvenuti. Yokoso.
Oh, yeah. Well, they've been threatening to do that for years, but the big thing is that, yeah, this whole Russia-Ukraine thing is, Xi Jinping is watching it and going, okay, what's going to be the response? Now, the thing with China is they can only launch something like that certain times of year, just the way the strait there is between the mainland and Thailand, or Taiwan.
Wenn Sie etwas in die Fächer über den Sitzen verstauen, achten
Okay.
Sie darauf, dass es nicht herausfallen kann. Bitte vergewissern Sie sich, dass schweres Handgepäck sicher unter dem Vordersitz verstaut ist. Wir bitten Sie jetzt, Ihren Sicherheitsgurt zu schließen und festzuziehen.
No, we forgot to do fuel pumps.
Loszuschnallen, brauchen Sie den Verschluss
I wonder
des
if that's
Gurtes
causing the problem.
anzuheben. Da unerwartete Turbulenzen
There we go.
auftreten können,
It helps if you have fuel.
verpflichtet, sich anzuschnallen, sobald Sie Ihren Sitzplatz eingenommen haben. Dies dient Ihrer
I never know which direction to go here.
Dieses Flugzeug hat 12 Notausgänge. Leuchtstreifen im Boden markieren den Weg zu den Notausgängen. Sie sind mit dem Wort Exit gekennzeichnet.
I've done that.
Diese Ausgänge haben aufblasbare Rutschen, über die Sie das Flugzeug im Notfall verlassen können.
Yep, Enzo flying the A320. Not the base one. If you're asking in Microsoft Flight Simulator, using the FlyByWire mod for the A320, but it is. Why is my tug going so slow? There we go. Let's speed it up. Right, I'm actually gonna push back. We can aim this way. That's how we have to get out. Yesterday when we crashed the second time, I got taxied right to here, but then I realized, oh, I'm gonna taxi all around. Yeah. And then the sim crashed, so it took that equally. Way that fun.
Auf Anweisung der Crew ziehen Sie Ihre Weste über den Kopf. Befestigen Sie die Gurte vorn.
Alright, now we can start engine.
Die Gurte fest.
Start engine one.
Unmittelbar bevor Sie das Flugzeug verlassen, ziehen Sie an den roten Griffen.
Yeah, I was wondering why it wasn't spooling up. I had the ignition on, and of course, what didn't I have? I didn't turn the fuel pumps on, so always something. All right, this is good. Stop the tug. Stop the parking brake.
Ist ein Nichtraucherflug. Das Rauchen ist während des gesamten Aufenthalts an Bord nicht erlaubt.
Say goodbye.
Telefone müssen aufgrund gesetzlicher Bestimmungen ab dem Verlassen der Parkposition ausgeschaltet
This is a really good livery. I like this livery. I think he just made this. Orient PS. He just did a series of an old Lufthansa livery, this Lufthansa livery, and he did one that's Lufthansa First to Fly, the Airbus A320. There, that one, which is also an older livery. But a really nice one because like, I noticed it on when we were doing the longer stream. Kind of hard to tell right now. You can actually see scratches and everything on the wings. Need to go back outside. You can kind of see how those like little scratches there. Got a little bit of texture. Looks pretty cool. I guess that's something he's been playing with. Because I noticed on his download it said like, hey, if you want to add these scratches to your livery, make your own. You make your own whatever, however you would do that. Still coming. Alright. Looks like our engines are ready to go. Runway turn off lights, taxi lights on, transponder is set, probe window heat, auto, spoilers armed, flaps 1. Kept the lowest target.
Which are marked clearly with the word exit. These exits are equipped with evacuation slides which you can use to leave the
Alright, flaps, anti-ice if required, auto brake. X. Nose light, turn off light, parking brake, weather radar, not again, still isn't operational, but
cover your mouth and nose with the mask and secure it by pulling the elastic strap over your head.
to the ground.
Then help any children and fellow passengers who require assistance.
Ground Lufthansa 1343 with Sierra ready to taxi.
Have the co-pilot take care of stuff now on the radio.
1343 taxi to and hold short of runway 13 left by taxiway Delta Alpha.
Under the armrest.
Contact tower on 118.1 when ready.
In economy class, your life vest is
Taxi
located
to and
under
hold
the
short
seat.
runway 13 left using taxiway Delta Alpha. Lufthansa
Pull your
1343.
life vest over your head. Close the vest at the front and pull the straps tight. Only inflate the vest just before leaving the aircraft.
Okay, so actually we're going to be taking Mike, Bravo 4, Bravo
If
5.
necessary, you can
This is
top up the air
Mike,
through the red tubes.
and Bravo 4, Bravo 5.
Each vest
That's what we're
has a
actually...
lamp which lights up in the water when you pull out this tab. This flight is a no-smoking flight. Smoking is strictly prohibited at all times while on board this aircraft. In accordance with legal requirements, mobile phones must be switched off once we leave our parking position. The use of transmission equipment and remote-controlled toys is forbidden for the entire time you're on board. Please switch off all electronic devices.
Lufthansa 1343 hold position caution the Airbus A321 on the taxiway.
Turned off.
Lufthansa 1343 continue taxi.
I didn't even see that whiz there. He kind of told us a little late to hold our position. This came through a 7-hour clean install of both my computer and Microsoft Flight Simulator. Did you reinstall Windows? Yeah, I definitely need to at some point, probably. I probably need to do a fresh Windows install at some point. I'm debating if I should just upgrade to Windows 11. Because it keeps telling me, it's like, hey, you can upgrade to Windows 11. And I guess my computer, I think I did the steps to unlock the whatever thing, the DRM or whatever that thing is that you need to have. Because at first it was saying, oh, your computer's not compatible. I'm like, I just bought this motherboard and CPU like back in July. There's no way it's not. What, only 2 computers in the whole world are compatible with Windows 11? Or whatever that DRM thing or whatever that is. I actually didn't. I did a reinstall. Like, the first install of Flight Simulator was very difficult. Like, back in August 2020 when it first came out. Just because everyone was downloading it at the same time. But I did a reinstall. I can't remember when I did it, but when I did it, it didn't take that long at all. It was pretty painless. Yeah, I know how that is. I know how it goes, Black Diamond. I mean, like I said, it's like I'm really overdue for like a clean Windows install. I'm really overdue. I just need to do a ton of cleaning on my PC. Really, the thing is, I have my M2 drive, right? Which is where I have Windows, a C drive, and then I have a big, I have a 2 terabyte hard drive. I have I want to say maybe a terabyte. I think a terabyte solid state drive, which is I think where I have Flight Simulator currently. And then I bought an 8 terabyte hard drive for back when I was doing all the photogrammetry for X-Plane.
Lufthansa 1343 QNH 30.68 with com. Cleared for takeoff runway 13 left.
That's all I have. What is that? 4 hard drives? I think I said. Now, of course, the only one you really have to worry about, like with Windows, is mostly your C drive, but there's so much garbage on the other drives as well. And I haven't done a fresh install of Windows in forever, and probably been 4 or 5 years now. And I always said I'm going to do one every 6 months, and I haven't done it. And now I'm too afraid to do it. Yep, Enzo playing on the PC. I'm a PC person. Alright, so we turned on nose light, landing lights, TCAS, Atara, and transponder is on. Get on the runway, we are cleared for takeoff. At least that's what I heard. And so far, so good. We're on the runway, looking good. Yeah, I loaded in this flight yesterday or whatever, to do test, and it looked really good. And I'm like, am I still? Because I had actually turned Flight Simulator up to ultra settings the other day, just to take some screenshots, and I wasn't sure if like it saved my ultra settings. And no, it hadn't. Still high, but high is really good. Alright. Gonna get our brakes, hold our brakes, stabilize 40% to N1. And release. Go Toga. Is that the... Oh, those trees look beautiful. Those trees, that is the Budapest GeForce season pack. And actually, I was reading the documentation. You're going to see more of the spring trees. Actually, are going to be more in the city areas. There'll be a little bit more. Outside of the cities, the spring trees will be nice and green. But in the cities, you'll actually have some different blossoming colors and pinks and stuff. So that'll be cool to see. Right. Go back to climb. And I pulled in the flap. I didn't forget anything. The TC captain pack, is that the Boeing yoke thing? I would love to get that. I know Thrustmaster jumped on because Cody Moore, he's Wolf Gaming now. I can't remember what he's changed. He keeps changing his YouTube name. He hasn't settled yet, I think, but put on autopilot here so I don't miss his turn. Of course, it's going to insist on going this way, even though... Turn. What are you doing?
Lufthansa 1343 traffic is 12 o'clock, 4 miles at 2,900 feet Airbus A320.
He was high on everything except buildings and trees. They are an ultra. Wow. Those are the ones that I would think that would actually knock your performance. Like the trees, usually if you're having performance issues, you want to bump down like trees. I haven't really tried to tweak my settings to see if I can pump out anything more. Because right now I'm usually hovering. Like right now I'm at about 40 frames per second right now. Awesome. What do you have for specs? Like what do you have for a graphics card? Because I'm running a 1070, which again blows my mind that I can run 1070 to run high. It actually works not that bad.
Descend and maintain 4,000 feet Air France 1901 heavy.
We get a clearance.
Gentlemen, we have now passed 10,000 feet. We're now turning on your larger portable electronic devices. This is also a reminder to please keep fast while you're seated and do not congregate in the galley or near the lavatory. This aircraft is equipped with onboard Wi-Fi. If you wish to connect to the Wi-Fi, you will
1060. Wow.
We will offer complimentary in-flight TV thanks to our partners. Connect to the Wi-Fi to find out more information.
I'm guessing at this point, like when I was doing, if I just fly without streaming or recording with OBS, I can usually, I'll get the frame rate will get up in the 50s, and I probably could pump it up a few things into Ultra. If I go all Ultra, the frame rates are in the 20s, and that's not with streaming also, and that's like basic cruise and everything.
Air France 1901 heavy, please expedite your descent 4,000 feet. Alitalia 5905, please expedite.
I don't know. Someday we'll be able to. Someday maybe we'll be able to buy a 30 series. Maybe once they come out with the 5,000 or 7,000, it'll probably be the 8,000 series for the graphics cards by the time the 3,000, and then by that time 3,000 series cards will only cost like maybe $1,000 bucks. That's kind of the sad thing, is that it's like it used to be a big thing just a few years ago when I built my computer. It's like building your own PC was actually the more valued way to go. You could get more value for your bang for your buck, and now it's just cost prohibitive all the time now.
Air France 1901 heavy, please expedite your descent 4,000 feet.
Jeez.
Alitalia
Hello, mate.
5905, please expedite your descent 5,400 feet.
Budapest Center Lufthansa
Alright.
1343.
I got my request up to our cruise level.
Request flight level 380.
I'm gonna go standard.
Lufthansa 1343 climb.
Turn off the landing lights.
16,000 feet.
I'll sign them off too.
380.
Climb and maintain 16,000 feet. Expect flight level 380. Lufthansa 1343.
She found I kind of like putting my camera like right here. Kind of cool.
We're not going to move around the cabin. However, we ask that you just go back and wait to unexpected.
First of all, on the ground. Oh, is that Budapest behind us? That should be Budapest behind us, right? Yep. Budapest, we're kind of headed southwest right now on our SID. Eventually we'll make our turn. Yep, here we go.
Lufthansa 1343 climb and maintain flight level 240. EGN 4336, please expedite your descent 2,100 feet.
Climb and maintain flight level 240.
flight level 240. Air France 1 Heavy, please expedite your descent 4,000 feet. Alitalia 5 please expedite your descent 5,400 feet. Air France 1 Heavy, please expedite your descent 4,000 feet. EGN 4336, please expedite your descent 2,500 feet. Blue Air 151, climb and maintain flight level 300. Air France 1 Heavy, please expedite your descent 4,000 feet. Alitalia 5 please expedite your descent 5,400 feet.
Yeah, I'd love to get those. Be cool to have. I mean, it'd be cool to have both. Obviously, I'd love to have that. Captain. What is it? The Captain Pack CCA stuff for the Boeing, and then. I mean, granted, we don't have the Boeing yet here over in Flight Simulator yet, but soon enough, PMDG will be over here, and I'm gonna have to make that decision if I want to jump into the PMDG game. I've never actually had a PMDG plane. I've always just done basically freeware. The first time I ever spent money on a plane was the Aerosoft CRJs here for Microsoft Flight Simulator, and they're pretty good. They're pretty cool. So we'll see. We got traffic right there at 11 o'clock crossing our face. See it? But yeah, back in X-Plane, I flew the Zibo 737. That's the only plane that was basically exclusively the only plane I flew. And then, obviously here in Flight Simulator, if I hadn't bought the CRJs, I'd probably exclusively fly this plane. Well, probably, and whenever occasionally probably fly the 747, 787 as well. That came along with it, but yeah, I've usually never spent money on too many stuff. Not too much stuff, but it'd be so cool to get the. It'd be really cool to have the Airbus stuff. Yeah, to have the throttle quadrant and some of the buttons, if they work well. I've heard that there's sometimes they have some issues. Watching Creepy Kirk's stream, and obviously watching any number of different streamers where they have the little camera focused on their desktop setup with their honeycomb or whatever flight system they have, and they got their little, if they have the dials and stuff that they can actually turn. I saw last night Creepy Kirk going and turning a dial. It's like, that'd be so cool to have that stuff instead of having to try to get the mouse just right, I don't know what I did there. Or especially the radio stuff, if you actually want to do like VOR flying, or when you're on VATSIM or whatever, be able to just turn those dials and everything to just kind of work. Then of course you have the guys that have the whole home cockpit rig. Switches up above, everything like you're actually in the cockpit. I'm going to just throw this in chat. If you want to follow the flight, you can go here to events.flighttracker.tech. Just look for the call sign DLH, right? Yep, DLH 1343. And you can follow the flight over the map. We just kind of made a turn before the city of Dior. So the map, I'm looking at the events.flighttracker map, and that, I don't know what map service it uses, but it's all in the local languages. So sometimes I read the place names, I'm like, what place is that? And then you look at Atlanta or something else. And anyway, we are just about to cross. Once we hit the this next waypoint, which is Arsen, that's basically the border with Austria, Österreich. That's what's kind of interesting too, is when you look at these local maps and actually seeing the real, like the names of the countries, like what they call themselves. For example, we are right now flying over Magyar Rosag for Hungary. And then obviously we get to Austria, which is Österreich. Yeah, I'm fine with what I have. I think like I said, Cody Moore, who's Wolf Gaming or Legendary. I think he's Legendary Gaming now. Yeah, he used to mod for Captain Canada, I think is what his name is on YouTube. And he was saying, "Hey, I've got contacts with Thrustmaster. You know, what would you like to get from them for free? You know, that they could like give you some and you could talk about it on your streams." I'm like, heck, get me the TCA thing, give me the Airbus stuff, you know. And I think Thrustmaster was in the chat, you know, a few streams ago, and they were talking about, it's like, yeah, once you get to 1,000 subscribers, we'll talk. And so on YouTube, you gotta get to 1,000 subscribers. I know, I like I said, I watch other streamers, or I watch other YouTubers, I'm like, okay, are you spending money on all this stuff? Or how much of this stuff are you getting for free to kind of promote? Or, I mean, obviously, when it's a promotion video and they say they're promoting it, but I see some of them, they got these setups, I'm like, where are you getting all this money? You're a college student. Or, you know, I guess I'm just very frugal, I suppose. I feel very guilty about, like, I'll spend the money, but then I'll feel very guilty, and I have to really justify it to myself. I wish there was a way to slightly adjust like where this I don't want to change the zoom level so much. I want to move where the plane is in reference to this camera. I know you do that in the drone camera, but the drone camera, what I like about just going this one is you can still control the plane. I can move around with the mouse, but also this camera doesn't tip over. The drone tips over, and that's very frustrating. Yeah, I tend to fly with my eyes facing down. I like to look at the scenery on the ground. I mean, that was a big thing in X-Plane. I was constantly downloading. I had an 8 terabyte hard drive, and I was downloading all the orthographic, the satellite imagery to plaster on the ground below me. But I'd only get the imagery for basically the areas around the airports I was going, and then the rest of the world would just be generic. Or eventually I did get it was a much further zoomed out photo imagery, so it didn't look this good if you were over certain areas. It would kind of be rough. Yeah, I'm spending money for the honeycomb setup back and forth. Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like there's certain things. I think what happens is my purchasing history is it seems like I'll make a decent purchase. Like for example, it's like I bought my steering wheel and pedals and that stuff, and I use those all the time for a number of years. You know, I got the Thrustmaster, you know, Joystick, you know, flight stick, throttle, and rudder pedals. I use them all the time. So those are good and, you know, things that I use. And then I'll go and I'll buy a game on Steam for, what's one game I bought? There were a number of games I bought when I was just thinking, it's like, oh, I could make a YouTube series about this game. Oh, this is the popular game, and chasing those games, and then realizing it's like you either didn't have the time or you just weren't as interested in playing those. I think one I got, what was it? No Man's Sky. I think I spent like $60 on that, and I played maybe an hour or two. It's like that seems like a waste of money. I don't know who. I think it was a Funhouse on YouTube, like the Funhouse guys. Someone said on there, it's like, 1 hour, $1. So like every dollar you spend, you should get like an hour of gameplay. And obviously Microsoft Flight Simulator, so far I've spent in Flight Simulator, I probably spent, I spent like $100 or whatever for the premium. You know, another $50 for the CRJs. You know, $25 for the season pack for the trees. You know, so all told, I probably spent maybe $200 so far invested into Microsoft Flight Simulator. And if I look at my Steam time, I'm almost at 1,050 hours, which is low probably compared to some people. And out of that 1,050 hours, I've only flown technically probably 250. The rest of the time has been taking screenshots or loading screens or whatever. But it's definitely been worth it. Like I said, I always, when I go through my Steam library and I look at how many games I have, and then figure out, okay, if I spent like, let's say, $30 on each game, how much have I spent? And then looking at some of them where it's like I've played them for like maybe 3 hours and really never had time to just get into a game, and I'm like, why didn't I play this one? And the reason I didn't play it more was because I get stuff like this, where it's like Microsoft Flight Simulator or an X-Plane or even American Truck Simulator, Euro Truck Simulator, where I was just doing those all the time, or whatever it was. But yeah, that's how I am. I mean, it takes me, like, I need to buy some new pants for work. I need to buy some new jeans because all my jeans have I've got like hairs in the like right where that seam is between the pocket and the pant is torn, and so now it's just like these big tears in my butt on my jeans, and it's just because of all that getting up and sitting down, and you know, constantly being seated and moving around in the truck and getting up down, sit down, get up. Just wears those out. And I don't buy clothes, you know, until they fall apart, and I'm putting it off as long as possible though. But I need to go. I need to go and buy clothes. It's gonna take me. It's so stressful because I go. I'm like, ugh. You know, just anything. Unique New York got a $250 Amazon gift card from my vendor, and we're awesome. There you go. VR would be cool. I don't know if I'm in the... Obviously, at this point, I don't think I'd really go too much VR yet, because my computer definitely isn't set up for that yet. And plus, I need to be able to just kind of be able to take care of the baby and stuff, and I can't really have a headset on. I need to be able to just kind of step away and listen. But it would be cool to do VR. I'm a little worried about it because I notice everyone having issues with VR all the time. But really, my first flickering's terrible. My first goal is to get to upgrade my graphics card. But I'll probably end up spending the equivalent of the money I'd spend on the graphics card on other stuff before I get to upgrade the graphics card, just because I can't justify spending, you know, double or whatever what the graphics card should be going for. Yeah, I watch those. I always, when I watch them, and the guys, when they have the honeycomb and the yoke, it looks so much fun compared to just a flight stick. Which is kind of weird because, well, flight stick is not unrealistic. I mean, the Airbus has a flight stick. There it is, But obviously, when you're flying these other, most general aviation planes, the Boeings, Embraers, they got the yoke, and obviously they all have different kinds of yokes too. It just seems like a much more Oh, just different kind of system. I don't think I've ever, yeah, I've never flown with a yoke. I don't think I even looked at getting a yoke when I was looking at getting a flight system for X-Plane. I just figured, oh, I should get a flight stick. I didn't even think about the fact that there were yokes out there, or that the Boeing, which I was flying all the time, had a yoke. Alright, so we're coming up on the city of Linz. Maybe the next major cities. Where's that? The Donau. Yeah, and you also want to get stuff for your camper. Yep, that's the sort of thing. It's like I kind of, I want to get stuff for the computer, and then I want to get a, upgrade my bike over here in America, because like the road bike I have, pedaling, right? Actually using, a bike, not a motorcycle or anything, but it's like a 40-year-old bike at this point. And in China, I had bought a new Trek, back in 2015, 2016, which is now just sitting over there collecting dust. And I need to do some work on that bike, but I haven't. Yeah, it's starting to drop. But then I'll see an article where it's talking about like, oh, the price for the 3090 Ti has just been released, and it's like $4,000. I'm like, why would they price it at I mean, that's not the MSRP. That can't be, because if it is, NVIDIA has completely lost its mind, and they've completely given up on even trying to make things affordable anymore. And that's what I was kind of getting at earlier, is that when I built my PC, that was the big thing to do, was build your own PC. You're going to get the most bang for your buck, and now it's almost, just get it pre-built, and you're going to get more bang for your buck now, because can't find building your own PC doesn't really save you much money at all anymore. Okay, so this is gonna be Linz right below us. Yeah, this is what I love about this is my favorite part of Microsoft Flight Simulator, is that you can be flying, whether we're flying at 30,000 feet or at 5,000, it looks good. This looks like a real city. I haven't tried to sit outside the plane for too long, but when I was doing the 12-hour stream, when I would sit in this view, every, like, I don't know if it was, I didn't time it, but like, let's say like every 10 seconds it would kind of catch. There'd be a kind of a stutter, and then it would come back, and the camera would kind of rotate slightly too to catch up. Not having any of that. So I'm guessing what happened was I did that might be, that stuttering is, people have been talking about that, and I watched Easy Sim or EasyJet Sim Pilot, whatever, I forget his channel name now, but he had a video talking about like there's a setting you can adjust besides getting rid of the toolbar pushback, which is also causing some issues right now, which I have already, but I was having that issue without it when I was doing that 12-hour stream. Is go into your registry and change this your registry editor and change the setting from 2 to 4. Now I'm not gonna go into it right now, unless you guys want to. If you're interested, I will show you what I did to clear up that stuttering. And when I did my 12-hour stream, I believe I had set it back to default 2 from the 4. I set it back to 2, like, I'm a little nervous about this, and that's where I had the stuttering again. And I just noticed just right now, I was outside the plane, no stuttering. Like, you'll notice it. Like, it's not just a little, I mean, you can kind of see there's a little bit. But what would happen is it would literally stop. Everything would stop for like a split second, and then it would catch up, and it would kind of rotate. And that's gone away. Because basically after did it just a little bit right there, it looked like. Kind of trying to watch my frame rate. Okay, I'm gonna watch the plane first. Is this plane doing it? No, it's not really. Yeah, it's kind of. There is a little stutter still, but it's not catching as long and then catching up as much. It's just now it's like so tiny. You know, it's kind of like that normal, just frame rate bump a little bit. But when I was doing my 12-hour test, it was kind of. It was really noticeable. It was bad. And I'm like, oh, this doesn't look good. I'm finally used to this Lufthansa livery. Oh, you mean like the new style, where they got rid of the yellow? Yeah, it's grown on me. That was kind of like when I first saw it. I was like, do I really want to? I was almost thinking of flying the old one, and then I was thinking, I think I flew the old one back when we were in Africa. Still, I had a Lufthansa flight, and I did fly with the yellow. I mean, it's grown on me. I get it. But at the same time, it's kind of like all these companies are kind of going away from having that popping color. It's just going to these 2 color tones where it's just, blue and white or whatever. At the same time, I do appreciate it because it is very clean. Just have 2 colors. Just to do, a color and then white. It's always interesting how graphics work.
1343. Munich Center Lufthansa 1343 flight level 380.
I don't know if you noticed, I was at the supermarket a few weeks ago. We were walking through the soup aisle, and I just noticed, as I was walking through the soup aisle, I'm looking at the Campbell's soup. Just the regular Campbell's soup, not the Campbell's chunky soup, which is usually what I get, but the Campbell's soup, and I looked at them, and they just look different. The logo looked different, and so I picked it up and I looked, and I'm like, yeah, they had changed the logo. They just kind of slightly changed the cursive, and they had actually added some more space between some of the letters. And I don't know how many people probably even noticed it. But it's like, as I'm walking through, I could just see it in the distance. It looked completely different. And then I looked at the Campbell's chunky soup, and they hadn't changed the logos on that one yet. I don't know if those are just, older cans, hadn't gotten the new packaging yet or whatever. And so I showed my wife, and I compare it, and when I came home, I told my parents, and they're like, my mom's like, you're so weird. I'm like, but it's those little things that especially if, I've always dabbled in doing logos and graphics over the last, 5-6 years now, and kind of learning about different things like that. And it's just stuff you notice, those little things, and it happens all the time where these companies make these. I don't know how. I'm sure Campbell spent hundreds of thousands of dollars making that slight change, right? They paid graphic designer how much money to do that, and then you have to go through and change your, your printing process or whatever it is. Like, I know the famous one, it was like Pepsi when they kind of adjusted their logo and now looks like a fat man. But you see it all the time, like with these airlines, they're always slightly tweaking. For example, here Lufthansa, slightly tweaking their logo, their color scheme. Hey Enzo, welcome back. Just talking about logos and stuff right now, because Black Diamond is just gotten used to this new Lufthansa livery, which I'm getting used to too. I think it looks good. It looks modern. Got that modern look. That's how everything goes. Eventually this style, what we think looks really nice and clean and sleek, what graphic designers like the flat kind of logos. Like my channel logo is just flat. It's just a letter mark and it's just flat, right? You go back to like the you go back to the 90s, right? And even just look at like football uniforms, for example, right? Football logos. You look at the 49ers logo, it had like the drop shadow, it had outlines and everything. And then you look at the 49ers logo, the jerseys today, and they've gone from very simple, where it's just red jersey, white number, kind of like the Packers, green jersey, white number, no shadow or anything. But then you look at the Browns, which the Browns uniforms, the new uniforms they got last few years, kind of baffle me, because they went from having, I think, really nice uniforms, just that classic, clean look, brown uniform, white logo, just simple, or white, simple number. And then they went to basically, they kind of went to, the jerseys they have now kind of look like what my high school football jerseys looked back in like 2000. The jerseys we had for our high school before I even got to high school, and was like the year I was on varsity. That was, we would every year we'd get like new jerseys and we'd kind of tweak them every year. And having that drop shadow and the multiple chunky outlines, it's just so out of date. And here the Browns are bringing it back in 2020 or whenever they redesigned their logo, like did that. Hey, Captain A320. Well, so far, so good on our flight. We're actually over halfway, 23 minutes out. So actually, at this point, I'm gonna... Yeah, Captain A320 is actually a real A320 pilot as well. So, definitely go check out his YouTube channel. I don't know if he has subtitles, English subtitles, or if you can get English subtitles for it, but I believe his videos are in German. So I'm gonna have to brush up on my German. But I'm sure it'd be kind of learn some things. I'm sure by watching and do setup and stuff and whatever, you can learn some cool stuff. Even if you can't always understand everything because of the language. Okay, field prediction. I've never actually sat on this field prediction page that long. I was like, what is it? Why is it orange? But that's for our alternate. We still have plenty. I think once you get under 2,000, though, you have to get in that warning. What do I want to do? I want to do a fixed point. We are getting pretty close.
Lufthansa 1343 traffic in sight.
Yeah, Captain A320, if you're there, what airline do you fly for? Because, I think... Oh, there we go. There's our... Okay, right. Check out the new Renton scheme. Renton. Oh, is Renton the A3... Is that the fictional A320? Factory? Like the FlyByWire A32NX thing? Or, oh no, that's Seattle Renton. No, I haven't, because it's payware, yeah? And it's from Chris Wiki Design. I have not. Oh, okay, so it's the Boeing. That's right. Boeing question. Let's screenshot. Pretty cool looking airport. I've never actually even kind of looked at that airport. Yeah, that's another something. It's like I don't buy airports, even though some of these airports look really awesome. Which is why I always highlight when I get a freeware airport that is almost as good as a payware. I really highlight it because there is some really good free payware level kind of airports out there. Nope, I haven't checked it out. That's one thing. I'm kind of a little. I watch, like I said, I watch these YouTube channels, and they're always showing off these different airports. And I suppose you know, once you get into that's your model for what your YouTube channel is going to be, you're going to be, you know, but you got to be making money on your YouTube channel to do that. I think that little investment, because I'm pretty cheap when it comes to. I'm try not to spend too much money on my hobby. At least right now. Money I don't have, right? Alright, so I wanted to do a fixed point so I can kind of get a rough idea of when we should start our descent. Let's open the scene right here. Open up Navigraphs. Look at the standard terminal approach chart. Kind of figure out where we want to, which point I want to use as a descent point. We'll use FlyByWire because we need to be at flight level 240 by that point.
Lufthansa 1343 traffic in sight.
Well, we got a couple planes right there.
Lufthansa 1343 have the traffic.
I'm guessing we lost our
Lufthansa
ATC.
1343 have the traffic.
Yep, ATC broke. We're only hearing ourselves. Normally don't buy scenery, but that one is an absolute adventure, truly amazing animation. Yeah, I think that's the big one with a lot of the payware scenery is that you get like animations. That might be the difference. Usually, kind of the difference between freeware and payware. Because but like I said, I think the reason I usually, if I do buy scenery stuff, like I bought the John Hibashi 4 season pack that changes the seasons. I buy stuff if it's something that's like global. I'll buy that if it's the only way I can get that kind of thing. I decide it's like, hey, you know what, this is something I like. If it's global, because you know the way I fly, especially with this world tour, I'm not flying to the same airport often, so I'm going to buy an airport. And it's just going to sit there, and I'm not going to see it ever. You know, which is what it is. I think a lot of people, if you're buying an airport, you're usually buying an airport they're going to fly into a lot. You know, it's your local airport. You're going to do your patterns there or whatever. Yeah, it's worth it to buy that. Get a really good quality of your own airport or whatever. I mean, it doesn't have to be your local airport, but the airport you're going to be your home airport in Microsoft Flight Simulator or whatever. Like I'm going to so many different airports. That it wouldn't be worth it for me to buy one of them. Alright, so let's make that fixed point I was talking about. So I'm going to go with power. Actually, probably a little late to do that anyway. They give us the clearance to descend. Yeah, we got to descend to 0. Or actually a little. Right, I'm going to use, let's use Spessa. Gotta get it. The Spessa, I want to be at 100 or 11,000 feet. So 80,000 or 85 miles before we need. That's where we're gonna have our fix. That's where we need to start descent. For Spessa. In any case, we're already descending. Spessa. We want to do 85 miles. And so you can see there is yes, we're already within that range where we should be descending. We're already starting to descend, so we're a little late, but should be okay. Back in here, MCDU menu, ATSU. Like that. AOC menu. Get our MEDAR data. Our little message saying we got company message. That's taking a while. We've been since we started taxi about an hour and a minute, 1 hour and 1 minute. Frame rate kind of dipped there. Our company message. These messages. Print this out. Performance. So approach, and our QNH for Echo Delta Delta Foxtrot is 1030. Temperatures 5 Celsius. Wind 60 degrees 8 knots. Transition altitude. Uh, 5,000 feet. Then our minimum on the ILS for runway 7 left, so 7 right, is 528 feet. Okay.
Descend and maintain flight level 200 Lufthansa 1343.
Okay, so we got the constraints. Should be at flight level 185, so we're a little high. We should be able to. What we could do is we could do a hold pattern at a Spessa. I think we actually technically might need to do a hold pattern to get down to. We're supposed to be at Spessa. We need to be at 11,000 feet. But then once you start on the rest of the star, you need it looks like you need to be at 4,000. So I guess you do a hold down to 5,000 feet. Might be what we have to do. Yeah. Usually I don't do that. Usually I just go through and descend. We're gonna do that. Since we have the ability to do holds now, click on Spessa, hold, inbound. Of course I'm going right now. Yeah. Oh, okay. Anyone, I'm just wondering, is there a way to set the way that hold works? Because on the chart it says the hold is 104 degrees and then 284. I think the hold's supposed to be more like this. I'm not sure how to set that. We'll just go with what the hold has. I'm not gonna argue too much with it. Make sure we do it, hopefully do it right. Once we get this vessel, we'll go into a hold pattern until we hit exit. So we'll exit once we get to 5,000, or once we're near 5,000, we'll hit exit. It will get back to this point, go back out and continue, and we'll basically be at 4,000 feet until we get in. That's how I'm reading the chart. I'll actually, let me throw the chart up for you guys. If anyone knows if I'm doing this wrong, but that's what I'm seeing. Here it says 11,000 is where we need to be at Spessa, but then here it has 5,000, 4,000. So I'm assuming that's our altitude throughout the rest of this star, and I'm guessing this is, we basically hold down to that point. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe these are just the minimums. Oh, okay, so I don't need to hold and get down to there. Well, let's get rid of that hold. Actually, maybe I do kind of want to do holds still. We're kind of high. Because we're not even at 11,000. So I'm going to do... No, let me do a hold? Yeah. We'll do a hold, we'll get down to 11,000, and then we'll continue on our way. Okay, that makes sense. That's what I was thinking, because like right here, that seems our minimum. Kind of seemed weird that you'd have all this time sitting at 4,000. But we're not even at 11,000 yet. Oh. Hold. 11,000. Because we're going to have a really hard time, especially since the plane is slowing down to about 210 right now. 205. In.
Descend and maintain 14,000 feet. Lufthansa 134.
I don't think I've ever flown into Germany during the day. It's always been night. Let's see, that is right behind us. As we go into our holding pattern, that's going to be Aschaffenburg. Actually, I think that's the airport right there. Why is the plane already at... I think it's very hard to send. I didn't see any minimum on here. Got like for max speed. Cool up the engine though. How do I set the hold speed? Oh, is that why it went there? Because it's... okay, because we're holding, it wants to go. Well, that's what it was. Where do you set that speed? Yeah, see now we're picking up more speed because for some reason the plane insisted on speeding up to 240. Wanted to let it roll up there. Sometimes the drawbacks of auto throttle.
sign is now on.
and maintain 14,000 feet. Lufthansa 1343.
We have begun our final descent into Frankfurt. Flight attendants will be passing through the cabin to select extract one final time. Please ensure the tables and windows and seats are in the full upright position. Please also store any carry-on items either in the seat back pocket or under the seat frame. Delete all Wi-Fi related tasks and show any larger electronics.
Alright, we're exiting the hold now, and we're going to start descending to 4,000 feet, which is the minimum, and where we need to be to start our approach. But we're in pretty good shape. Hey, Captain Paderek. We're at 10,000, so we're gonna run the landing lights. Alright. Yep, he had his landing. Luckily we were in a hold pattern when we're just exiting the hold pattern when he needed a diaper change. Typically he needs a diaper change like on short final. We're having a little bit of frame rate dip, but I think that's probably because we're flying into a major airport. Hopefully it doesn't get too bad. Airport is be right over there somewhere. That's it. Well, there's an airport, but I don't think that's the airport. Could be though. Frankfurt's right over there. Airport is right over there. There's something uncovered with the MCDU server feature that the sim will constantly try to connect if you don't start it up, potentially causing memory loops, etc. Fixes in the works. What do you mean? MCDU server. What's the server feature? I haven't had this bad a frame rate in a while on a landing.
5,100 feet, climbing 14,000 feet.
Hopefully it's not too bad as we're coming in. I think the last time we had last time we had really bad frame rates was because of the shared cockpit thing.
Langen approach Lufthansa 134 is at 5,100 feet, climbing 14,000 feet.
We're not going to have the frame rates I'd like, but to be expected. Alright, we're going to cancel this IFR and then we'll let's do a request in. Rudder. I wish you could just put in. Hey, Classic Evil, thanks for the raid. How was your stream? What were you playing today? I didn't have enough time to kind of just look at what was going on Twitter. I love that. I love how it just keeps switching. They really should just give you. They really need to fix this whole thing. It's like, just let us type in where we want to go.
Take left downwind runway.
Don't want to go.
1343.
You're trying to click on the right airport and it just keeps switching because you're getting closer and further from the airport. It's like, just have a list and don't.
Flying and approach Lufthansa 1343 is tagged Airbus A320N 4 miles.
Let's see. Where you can start the MCDU server, which is located in the base A32NX server. Allowing to use it on. Oh, there's like no way to not have it try to do that? So it's like right now it's trying to do that even though I don't need the server because I'm not requesting it.
Cleared through the Charlie airspace Lufthansa 1343.
That's not cool. Alright, we're not going to do IFR because then they'll just get grumpy and you're not at the right altitude. Like, I'm coming in for the approach. Just let me closer. See, this is so finicky. Now watch. We're going to hit 7. By the time I hit 7, it's going to switch.
Frankfurt Tower
Oh, look at
Lufthansa
that.
1343 is 25 miles northeast 4,000 feet with whiskey to land.
Arma 3. I gotta watch. I did Arma 3. I was part of like an Arma 3 group for like a week. I just never got into it. Okay, we're doing runway 7 central. 7 central. We'll switch to that. Break the whole thing. Still the same approach and everything. Oh, the center runway. Nope, 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 no, 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 don't. Oh, I hate it when it does that. Turn it. Go. Stay on path. There's Frankfurt coming in. I think I have some Frankfurt landmarks, that's why. God, this kind of sucks here. Got a few smokestacks with smoke over there. That's from VFR. We love VFR. Airport. Guys, we're gonna do this big approach. I think we're gonna go all the way to the other side of Frankfurt and then come back. Oh, is that the airport? Oh, that might be the airport. Yeah, that's the airport right there. We're gonna get a nice pass of Frankfurt. That'd be cool. Yeah, it's kind of silly that it's trying to connect to a server, and that's going to cause. Yeah, it seems to be a lot of that stuff where it's like it's using network and other resources and breaking up stuff. All right, Classic Evil, have a good night. Like I said, I'm going to have to check out some of your Arma 3 just because it's such a when people are doing it nice and seriously and getting some of those plans, and it looks pretty cool actually. Well, hopefully they get a fix out pretty quickly because. It's not as if we don't have enough things already taxing the graphics card and the CPU and the network and all that, so just add another extra thing. Nice approach. I wasn't expecting to fly over Frankfurt itself. Well, it's just amazing the amount of stuff that it seems like. Why wasn't this caught? Don't you guys do testing internally? I don't know how they do that kind of stuff, but it's like there's some of these things where it's like, really, did you not turn your sim on and try it? Like it always seems like these companies, when they play their game, it just runs as smooth as possible. It's like, what build are you using? Why don't you give that to us? It's works perfectly on their system, and You know, they never try it like outside of their own little ecosystem. All right, so you can see, like, I think what we're able to see here with the John Hibashi's 4th season pack is like different colored trees because we're in the city. Of course, the city is not loading up super great because network speeds, I guess. Even though, again, I have enough bandwidth. It's not a bandwidth issue. It's just, yeah, little. If I get a gigabyte per second, I would think it would load up nicely. Wow. Looks pretty good. What are those planes doing? An air show over there? That's not like the ideal separation, is it? There's Frankfurt Airport. I wish the city would load in better. That's the problem, is like actually the cities it's actually more enjoyable just to go to the cities where they have the autogen in a lot of ways, because a lot of these cities where it's trying to load in from the network ends up looking like crap and putting a lot of taxing on the frame rate. Yeah, I have no idea. It's like, what do we need to load? And it's like, oh, just pre-cache. It's like, well, but the whole point is that I can stream it, isn't it? I want to do the pre-caching. It's like, and I can't, like with these flights, I could do the pre-caching because I know where I'm going, but it's like, that's sort of why I came over to Flight Simulator, so I wouldn't have to do so much preliminary work to set it up good. But I haven't had a ton of luck with the pre-caching yet. I might have to try it again and figure out how to, or like really look into how to do that. It would be nice to see Frankfurt, you know, all of its being nice. Oh well. And also not killing the frame rate trying to load it all in. Now, if we had ATC, would, like a real life ATC, would ATC like give us could cut off a little bit of this approach, I think, if they wanted to? I would guess, I mean, if you go on like flightsim.to, well, like if we did all the major cities, if you cached everything, yeah, it'd probably be pretty significant. Well, it's like looking at, if you go on like flightsim.to, people they've gotten they've done the Google, they've grabbed the stuff from Google and made basically just, here's the city. I've always wondered why people do that, because it's like the whole point of Flight Simulator is I don't need to do that, but I guess if your choice is between caching it or just downloading it, which, you know, knowing you got it and getting maybe superior quality from Google or whatever. I've noticed, like, yeah, most cities it ends up being like a gigabyte or 2 or 3, depending on how detailed people get, how much of the city they're covering. I've done that a few times. Sometimes though, it's like the colors are so off that I kind of want to not do that. But I guess maybe that's why you do it, because you come flying into these cities and it looks like garbage because it's not, server just isn't grabbing the stuff quickly enough. For others, well, for me, the ortho stuff in X-Plane was just getting, like, the ortho photogrammetry, or the ortho whatever, was like just getting the satellite imagery on the ground. So like X-Plane, I would download like all the satellite imagery that you're getting pumped in right now, and then the X-Plane autogen would still be over it and look kind of lousy, but like over here, you know, this part, you know, I mean, this looks decent to me. I mean, I'd almost rather just have the autogen in some cases. If it's not, I mean, it's better than just having triangle junk. Why is there no... Oh, there's discontinuity. There's no... First. Clear. Oh. Clear discontinuity. Why did that work? Where's that going? There we go. I'm assuming in real life they would probably at some point say, hey, you can cut off. Obviously, we've turned off the... Not really turned off. They're not going to give up a shortcut. Yeah, that's why I'm kind of looking. It's like, are they busy? I don't see really any other plane on it. I don't want to cut it off and then be right in the butt of one of the AI planes. I think I could. Let's do that. We're gonna clear. Cut off a little bit of this. There we go. Yeah, already at 4,000. Seems like every time I do this, I end up then like right on top of another one of the AI planes coming in. But I don't really see another plane on approach. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yep. I did that earlier when I switched it from runway. Is there a way to switch runways without having to reset everything and then it thinks you want to start the whole star over again? Because that's what I did. I switched to 7 center instead of 7 right. And when I did that, it wanted me to, I had to re-input everything, down here. And when I did that, it restarted the star, and so the plane started turning around. I had to get back to the direct page. Like, no, I want to go to the next waypoint. Don't go backwards. Is there a way to just switch the runway if everything else remains the same? Totally forgot about that then when I was doing that. It just seems kind of weird that when you do that, it suddenly goes, oh, you gotta select the star and then do direct to the first waypoint on approach. Vector. Well, that's why I mean, I don't know. I mean, just like when you insert it, as soon as you insert it, the plane starts turning around because you've already passed the beginning of the star, but it thinks you need to go back. And then you have to rapidly get to that direct to page and get to the right next waypoint. I'm guessing in real life they don't really well, and that's what I'm wondering. It's like, what do you do if you're in, let's say I suppose you just don't need to, let's say you're on approach and they want you to switch to a different runway. Do you just do it visually then or something? Yeah, that's what I usually do. I'll usually put it in manual heading mode, which I didn't do right there. Yeah, then you can do all that stuff. Not have to worry about it. Okay, let's slow it down. What's going on with a lot of flickering today? There's another new little problem I'm having. I usually don't get this flickering on the engines like that. I usually get it on the windows. Right there. That flickering. Shadow flicker. Getting it on the engines is new. Not what's broken. Go on approach around the panel here. Landing lights. Spoilers armed. Game auto, brake. Capturing the glide slope.
Cleared to land runway 07 center, Lufthansa 134.
I'm gonna probably be fast. I didn't get my speed down earlier.
$2,500. Yeah, this is the first time I've actually seen this airport or this area in the daylight. Every time I've dealt with Frankfurt, it's been landing or taking off in the evening. Looks like we have another plane landing right, 7 right, which is what we originally planned for. $1,000.
We're gonna exit. We're gonna want to exit left. Okay, yeah, that's good. They only have left high-speed exits anyway. We got power lines. That's another cool mod. Adds in power lines throughout much of Europe actually so far is modeled.
$400.
300.
You're getting like wind or something? Kind of a bounce coming in.
200.
Well, we got the AI traffic doing their little dance in there while they're holding.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10. 5.
Construction at the terminal over there. I'm not sure what terminal that is, but construction work over there. We'll just go around.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Frankfurt. The local time is 8:90 a.m. and it's currently about 5 degrees Celsius. You can now use your mobile devices. Please remain seated until the aircraft has come to a complete stop and the seatbelt sign is turned off. Remember to use caution when opening the overhead bin.
Frankfurt ground Lufthansa 1343 request taxi to the gate.
Thank you for flying with us. If you're making a connection, we encourage you to check
Taxi
your
into 8
itinerary.
Bravo 22 using taxiway Lima 11 Lima November 5 Lufthansa 1343.
November 5, Bravo 22. General idea where we're going. Landing lights off, taxi light, start the APU, strobe light, auto. Has the radar, wind shear, flaps, spoilers. Lufthansa hangar over there. Pretty good, some upgrades. I think this might be a premium airport. There's been just a few upgrades made to it. Overturn. That'd be next to that Air Canada. Going to Bravo 22, so we got 26. That's gonna be 25. Air Canada is probably at 24. 20. We're next to Air Canada. Okay. Not sure if they have numbers marked out here. Gotta be 26, 25, 24, but that means maybe we're between Lufthansa and Air Canada. Yep. That's why there's another gate right here. There we go. 22. Okay. Wait, let's do this. So the marshaller's telling me to move over here, but clearly the... Yeah. Alright, I think we'll just park right here. Pretty good. Got one of those Prague ones again, Lufthansa. Is that Vietnam? Oh, okay. The 747. Definitely a busy airport. Where we have great frame rate right now. Alright, parking brakes set. AQ is on. Actually go external power as well. So cool down the engines. External power on or not? Alright, well, we finally made it to Frankfurt. Third time, third stream, third attempt. So let's go over to Atlanta and we'll check out the flight finally. We got a little hold pattern there. Do our flight. Alright, stats, landing rate, a little bit harder than I thought it was going to be. I didn't think we landed that hard, but I guess got a little bit slow, kind of floated and then dropped. Hold pattern to get down to 11,000 feet, and then we got in, cut our approach off a little bit so we can get into the airport. Hour 41 flight time, landing GeForce 1.07, landing rate just under 340, negative 340, so not the best landing. But overall, good flight, and we got here, finally. Alright, so we'll pull open the world map for the world tour. There it is, so everywhere we've been so far. And today, we finally flown to Germany. If I can find it. There we go. Germany is complete. So I'm going to take a little break here for everyone on Facebook. We're going to end the stream, and I'll post a link before I end it for the next stream so that you guys can jump in there and be ready to go for our next flight. If you're on Twitch, we'll just go to an intermission. We're going to be flying down to Kosovo. I think it's right here. This one, Kosovo. We're going to basically fly just a little bit longer flight, actually. And that'll carry us over to the route. Hopefully be done around midnight, I'm hoping. But in any case, hope to see you there. Let's hide this and get back out. Cool. And the Pack X flight. At Pack X, they were 90% satisfied. Ooh, we had a Katarina Wenzel on the flight. Alright. Where? Come on. That. Look at the info on my Discord about stuttered clickers. There appears to be more. Alright, I will that. Oriana, by the way, it's my adoption anniversary today. Oh, well, congratulations. Alright, well, Oriana, you're on YouTube. I'm going to be ending the stream here. Let me grab the link for the other stream so that you guys can easily just jump over there and get ready. And we'll be flying down to Kosovo next on Eurowings. Where are you? Alright, so there's the stream. Stream link for the next stream, and I will see everyone over there in hopefully 15 minutes. I'm hoping 15 minutes to get everything set up. I'll probably exit. I'll probably close down Flight Simulator and restart it just to be safe and everything. So I will see you in 15 minutes. YouTubers, head on over to the other stream, and if you're on Twitch, I'll run an ad. If you're a subscriber, you hopefully won't see it, and we'll just go to intermission. And unfortunately, you won't be able to see the chat on the screen for some reason, but whatever. Alright, so I will see you. Change something. I'll flip over to that screen. There we go. Alright. So we'll be right back and see you a little bit later. YouTube in about 10-15 minutes. We will be ready to fly down to Kosovo.